Welcome to NEXTGames, a guide to Ninja series. In this episode, we will go over Elite Fast Cast Gearsets. Now, a common question I get is, when should I wear my Fast Cast Gearset? A Fast Cast Gearset is something you will want to have on every time you precast ninjutsu. That is, you want to start casting the spell in that gear. This makes it so the casting time of that spell is as low as possible. Now, if you're using enfeebling ninjutsu or elemental ninjutsu, you will want to have magic accuracy and magic attack gear respectively mid-cast. That is, you want to finish casting the spell in that gear. This will make it so that you are not resisted and do the most damage with your elemental ninjutsu. However, if you are casting Utsesami, you want to be sure to both precast and mid-cast in your fast cast gear. This will make it so both your casting time and recasting time is as low as possible. Now, if you want to know how to swap to these sets at the appropriate times, I suggest you check out A Guide to Ninja Series Episode 5, where I go over this in detail. Now, Fast Cast Gearsets is also how you can start dual magic bursting, so this is a key part to the Ninja's toolkit. The cap for Fast Cast is 80%. With Ninja's Elite gear, we can achieve 63 to 73% Fast Cast depending on gear choices. Do not use Utsesami casting downtime gear unless your fast cast set is very weak. Casting time is very easily capped through other gear and does not reduce the most important stat, recast time. Don't forget, you will get 20% casting time reduction from job point levels. Now first, I'd like to discuss weapons. There are 5 weapons that will help with your casting time. Now I don't really suggest using the first 3 for this purpose, but if you don't have a Rima, Ambuscade, or SU5 weapon yet, these can boost your fast cast another 10% between the main and offhands. Note that this 10% is not included in the 63 to 73% maximums that Ninja can achieve that I spoke of a second ago. The 3 katana that you can use that each have 5% fast cast on them are the Chidori, which you can get from Headwind 2 HTMB, Suhad Sanmun from Waking Dreams 2 HTMB, and Kanaria, which can be augmented through Osim and acquired through Ironside in Rizenma. Now, without a doubt, the best of these 3 is that Kanaria, especially if you can get some good augments on it from Osim. Things like a high base damage, triple attack, and high accuracy can make this compete or get better than a Gokutai, so keep that in mind. Next, let's talk about the Kikoku. This weapon has the ability to reduce your ninjutsu casting time by 20%. This is nice to make sure your casting time reduction is always capped, but sadly doesn't do anything to reduce your recast time. All of that being said, I would say this is the second best katana when it comes to tanking and Utsesami timers on Ninja. The final and best option for Ninja katanas when it comes to fast cast and Utsesami timers is the Fudo Masamune on Pass C. This katana lowers your ninjutsu recast timer by 25% and allows you to hit the recast timer reduction cap while still wearing Empyrean +1 feet. Make sure it's on Pass C to get the proper reduction. The first slot we'll talk about is the ammo slot. Here, you want to get the Sapience Orb that has fast cast plus 2% on it. You can get this from Udhilbi in Eshin Zita. Next, the head slot. Here, I recommend the Herculean Helm. It has a native fast cast trait of 7%, and you can augment it for a fast cast trait of 6%. You can get it off of Oryx in Rizenma, or spend 800 points from Zurum for it. For the neck, I recommend the Orunmillos Torque. This is a fast cast trait of 5%, and you can get it off Umaguk in Meeble Burrows. Now, if you are a new or returning player, the idea of doing Meeble Burrows may be a bit intimidating. I know I skipped over this content when it was first out, and I recently had to go back and do it to try and acquire this. It wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. I actually ended up doing all of the content, meaning all of the levels up to the NM, and defeating the NM who did not drop it, but I had acquired so many points from all of that I was able to get the torque from the NPC. All in all, it took me 3 to 4 hours. So really it isn't that big of a deal, so just know that if you're putting this off for a long time, as I have, as I put this off for almost 2 years now, go ahead and get it done because it really isn't nearly as bad as you hear. Next, let's go over the earring slots. The first, the Loquacious earring, has fast cast 2% on it. You can get it from Limbus by spending 75 Ancient Beast coins. In the other ear, I recommend the Enchanter earring +1. This will also give you a fast cast bonus of 2%. Now this is sadly rather expensive. It's going to cost you 10 to 20 million gil on the auction house. Next, let's discuss the body slot. Here I suggest the Teon Tabard. This will give you an innate fastcast bonus of 4%, and when augmented will give you an additional 5% fastcast. You can get this from Eluvian Skirmish. Now for new or returning players who do not have this piece, this may seem kind of difficult to achieve. However, Eluvian Skirmish is very easy to solo. Additionally, you don't even need to get this to drop. If you just do one pass through Eluvian Skirmish, the intermediate ROE objectives for it will automatically give you one free piece, and you can use this as the piece you select. Additionally, if you have a red Mog Pel, you can trade this in for Melopop wings, which you can then in turn trade in for this piece of armor. So there are multiple ways for you to get it. So just like the neck piece, don't put this off for too long. For new and returning players, it is easily accomplishable in about an afternoon. The next slot we'll talk about is the hand slot. Here, I recommend the Liline gloves. These have a fast cast trait of 5% on them, and at max augment, a fast cast rate of 3% for a total of 8. Now you get this from Sinister Rain off of Arcelia and Yignis after you finish beating the run. Hopefully this, with the augment, is on one of the gloves in your pool. Now this ring slot is the first place since weapons that we actually get to make a choice in regards to our fast cast gear setup. The best in slot option is without a doubt the Weatherspoon Ring +1. This will give you a fast cast rate of 6% and quick magic of 4%, which will make it so that 4% of your time you go ahead and instantly cast that ninjutsu spell. Now you get this from the Yignis Directive quest, so this will actually take quite some time and a lot of work to achieve. Additionally, you only get one ring to pick, and there's lots of other rings that are quite a bit better than this, especially if you're on Ninja. So therefore, you may not have access to this ring. If that is the case, then I suggest you get the Rahab ring. This has a fast cast trait of 2% on it, and you can get it from Archangel TT and Eshin Ruan. This is a soloable NM, but it may take you a few tries, so stick with it. For the other ring, I suggest you use a Kishar ring. This has a fast cast trait of 4% on it. You can get it from the Glassy Gorger in Omen. This is another soloable NM that may take you a few tries to get the patterns down, but is definitely doable for a ninja. The next slot we'll talk about is the back slot. Like always, it's the Andartia's Mantle we want to use here. This will give us an extra shadow every time we cast Oot Sesame if we are using it, and we can also augment it with fast cast plus 10%. You can get this and augment it through Ambuscade. Now I suggest you put this fast cast 10% on your Magic Accuracy Cape, as there really isn't any other stats or bonuses that you'll get in this section, the section that you'll get fast cast from, that you would put on a Magic Accuracy Cape. This way you don't have to lose yet another inventory slot for yet another cape for Ninja. Next, we will move on to the waist slot. Now this is the only slot for Ninja that they do not have a fast cast piece of gear available in. Therefore, you really have a lot of options here in regards to what you use. What I think is the best choice to use is your hit points are definitely going to be lacking in this set, as you're not being able to add the usual amount through your armor. Therefore, I would suggest adding a Wonneros belt here, which adds 55 hit points, which is the most Ninja can add in this slot. This will help to make sure that when you're often switching to this fast cast set, your hit points aren't continually dipping by quite as much. Next, we'll talk about the leg slot. Here, you want to use the Herculean Trousers, augmented with fast cast plus 6%. You can get these off Selkit in Rezenma, or for 800 domain invasion points. This brings us to our final slot, the feet slot. Now, we have two options here depending on which set we're using. If we're trying to fast cast either Enfeebling Ninjutsu or Elemental Ninjutsu, we want to use the Herculean boots with the fast cast 6% augment on them. You can get these from Belfour and Rezenma, or for 800 domain invasion points. Now, if instead we're casting Oot Sesame, we need to make sure that we have the Hotori Kahan +1 on our feet when we finish casting that Oot Sesame spell to make sure we get the bonus of that extra shadow. I normally just make it a part of my fast cast set for Oot Sesame, as our casting time reduction is normally capped by this point. Now let's talk about exactly what the results will be if we use this fast cast set. Let's just use Utsemi-san as an example. Now if we use no fast cast gear of any kind, we will cast Utsemi-san with a recast of 44 seconds. Now if we add simply a Fudo Masamune on path C to that, the recast drops to 32 seconds, a very nice drop there. If we add on 63% fast cast gear, that alone will drop it to 30 seconds. If we add those Herc feet with the 6% fast cast on them, which will boost our fast cast to 69, but of course also we will lose that extra shadow we're getting, that's going to lower it an additional 2 seconds to 28 seconds. Now if we have 63% fast cast gear with the Fudo Masamune, we've now dropped it to 18 seconds. Now if we take that further and replace the Hattori Kahan +1 with our fast cast 6% Herc boots, once again we're going to lose that extra shadow, but gain 6% fast cast and now drop our recast timer down to 17 seconds. Now we're going to add Haste 2 into the equation. If we have just our 63% fast cast gear on and Haste 2 alone, that alone will drop our recast timer from 44 seconds down to 17 seconds for Utsesami-san. If we add those Herc boots with 6% fast cast on them, we've dropped it an additional second to 16 seconds. Now if we had the Fudo Masamune on Pass C along with the Haste 2 and 63% fast cast, we have now dropped our recast from 44 seconds down to 11, or 25% of what it was, and we have now capped our recast. That can be seen as if we add those 6% fast cast boots to our setup, we still are capped at that 11 seconds. Likewise, if we were to add an additional 4% here by using that Weatherspoon Ring +1, we still would be capped at 11 seconds. All of your other Utsesami, Enfeebling Ninjutsu, and Elemental Ninjutsu will operate on these same principles. The last thing I want to point out that is great about this Fast Cast gear set is all of this gear is relatively easy to obtain and can definitely be obtained solo. So don't wait to get this stuff. It'll definitely make a huge difference in regards to how easily you can tank some of the more challenging content. I hope you all found this video helpful. The next video will be on Elite Enmity gear sets for Ninja. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and stay healthy, everyone.